Hi, everybody. This is day 1469. And yes, we're still counting 67 days since Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss. We received confirmation from the United States government that Richard is deceased. And that doesn't happen unless they have his remains. That doesn't happen. And the paperwork is that he was deceased on Fort Bliss. Okay, that means he was murdered on Fort Bliss. All right. Um, we cannot be delusional about this. Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss, and we have the evidence that he was calling out. He was multiple times he called 911. He went and bought a pistol. He was afraid for his life. He was requesting a transfer, get me out of here, um, requesting a transfer multiple times. Um, and he was being retaliated against. He was under 24-hour security for his health and safety. He was under whistleblower security detail. The day that he was murdered, the security detail failed to show up for duty, and Richard was then forcibly removed from his barracks room. We have witness testimony on that, and he was then murdered. So this is really important. We're working on lots and lots of things here because the accountability has started. The accountability has started, and we're getting more and more support. Of course, we've been getting support from the institution, calling it institutional support, right? And they're really having to investigate. We have active state and federal investigations going on right now. They're really having to look into things. We added some more yesterday of these investigations. And then we're getting other uh, other help, and we're getting word back about that, and when that all breaks, uh, everyone will know, right? Um, and so that is something to definitely pray about, for it to go forward, because there are well, it's a long history in Richard's case for tampering, right? For tampering and obstruction. They want to silence us. They want to obstruct getting to the truth of what happened to Richard. Because not only because of what Richard was reporting on, that he was reporting, it's right there in the report that he was um, talking to FBI Houston, Washington, D.C., CPS, the IG, CID. Um, so not only do they want to silence the criminal trafficking, right? The reports of criminal trafficking and the sex cult um, crimes that are going on. We have still to this day about 69 on average. So let's just say 500 a week, 500 children a week crossing the El Paso border in borderland. And so this is where Angela Kacherga makes me sick, absolutely sick, right? Because she will target a murdered whistleblower soldier reporting on this rather than um, doing everything in her power to stop all these unaccompanied minors from being kidnapped, trafficked. Um, Look, you don't have 69, 70 children a day just showing up at the border unaccompanied. All right. This is organized crime. This is what this is. And do not be fooled. And do not be, hypnotized, with the false narratives going on. There is organized crime, and that organized crime, I think they need to ask Angela Kachurga some questions about that. Bob Morris some questions about that. Bill Hicks some questions about that. Veronica Escobar some questions about that. Um, Mario Raskin Ortiz, ask him some questions about that. Jules Chuganon Chan, ask him some questions. James Courtney Hart, ask him some questions. And Nadal Baim, ask him some questions. And Jonathan Ambrose, ask him some questions. And of course, Lalani Hart, she's a confirmed convicted criminal. Um, Absolutely an unreliable source. And also Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia, which connects all of this to the Walmart case. It's not just the trafficking, it's also the Walmart case, the interference in election interference. That's what the Walmart case. It's coming up, and it is a deadly actions to affect um, people's. This is how powerful we are, right? The people are so powerful, they don't even realize how powerful they are. But these evil, power hungry people that are involved in all of these LLCs and even fake LLCs and all this stuff that they do, um, they orchestrated a mass shooting to affect policy. Policy is very, very important. That's why these elections are very, very important. And I didn't realize how much, to be honest with you. It's very, very important. And, anybody that's not talking policy is trying to fool you. It's all about policy. And they will try to fool you so that they can get their policies in and not even give you a decent explanation about the policies that are being, so desperately fought over that they would orchestrate a mass shooting. But the mass shooting at Walmart was absolutely orchestrated. And that's why here we are at 5 years, and nothing's been done. Nothing. They have a scheduling just to put Patrick Crusius out there in September, in mid-September. Um, the the cross references, the similarities of Patrick Crusius and Crooks is amazing, and family and all of that. And Crooks is the shooter that was shot on the roof for attempting assassination of President Trump. But, if the orchestration is similar in so many ways, and there's so many questions that are left unanswered about multiple shooters in both cases, um, trying to affect an election. Okay. So, and an internal support for it, because clearly the FBI has shown a clear, and the Secret Service has shown a clear support, um, or total incompetence of this attempt of suicide, attempted assassination. Um, it is, it's all out there, and it's really, really shocking. And what does that prove in Richard's case? That they will orchestrate, like they did the task force find Richard Halliday, right? And that they will tamper with files like Leilani Hart did. Leilani Hart tampered with Richard's file, and that they will also sanitize and tamper, with timestamps. We know with Bill Hicks, he tampered with timestamps. Um, he is a usurper of the 34th Judicial District Attorney's Office. He is not legitimate. He is absolutely a botched district attorney. He cannot be, he never installed properly. So everything he does is illegitimate. And the true holdover, then, by the holdover provision in the Texas Constitution, would make the predecessor the true district attorney. And in this case, it would be Yvonne Rosales. So we're praying that she steps forward. And I think, when she sees the accountability coming in, then she'll feel safe, because it's been really a disaster. It's been and the name of this video is called Health and Safety, right? Health and Safety Officer, the Health and Safety and Emergency Response Officer. Um, you know, uh, that's what so many of these agencies are meant to do, and they are licensed. And the individual needs to be licensed, and they need to work hard for the health and safety of the community and the individuals, and that's what their job is, emergency response. Um, and yet, uh, we have 500 children unaccounted for at the border, and we don't know where they're going. We don't know where they're going. Where are they going? Who's paying for it? We know. Where's all that money going, and what's going on? And why are they allowing James Courtney Hart to have Hart childcare? Why? When there is clear evidence, it's nothing new. The evidence has been there. It's just that we took the time to find it. The evidence is there. The notarized affidavit to the FBI, um, that, reports that James Courtney Hart's family is a mess, is incestuous. Um, that a 7-year-old uh, in his home was sexually assaulted by multiple members of the family or household. Um, that there's a long history of incest and child sexual assault in his family. This is corroborated and confirmed by communications with Leilani Hart. Um, so, where is Bob Moore reporting on all of this, right? Bob Moore has lots to report on, but he's busy putting forth a narrative. And if the news doesn't fit his narrative, he's not going to tell it to you. And so, why should he get a tax free status, a 501c3, if he's not going to be neutral? Then he needs to be on his own, have his own little blog, right? And so it's been absolutely very, very positive around here yesterday And today, because of the accountability coming, confirmed on that. And, a lot of those that are involved, they're getting phone calls now. And so you're seeing them um, respond very differently. Everybody's responding very differently. And so we'll see, um, how it all breaks, because Richard's case, of course, it broke with the declaration of death, and now getting back the remains. The Walmart case breaking. When the Walmart case breaks, even Richard's case would break more, and we're getting closer and closer then to receiving his remains, and that's our goal here. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about Mayo. El Mayo, who I wanted to apologize. I was saying Mayo, I guess, Mayo, but it's El Mayo. And so the news is that he has been kidnapped, that he was kidnapped, and that it was a dirty play. And if you've ever studied the book of Numbers, the book of Numbers is how to conduct a war, right? How to conduct a military, um, what are the rules of engagement? That's Numbers. And there's other books, in the Bible that give you what are the rules of engagement in war. And St. Augustine even talks about the rules of war, just war. Um, there's a way to fight, and you don't fight dirty. And yet, what's happening with El Mayo is that there's some dirty fighting going on. He was lured out of he's a billionaire, okay? Lured out of his security. And you can say whatever you want. He's a criminal, whatever. But I'm just telling you, uh, this is the way not to do a battle against someone that's a criminal, right? They lured him out of his security and to meet with the federal representative there in Mexico for Sinaloa, the new one, because they just had their elections too. And his bodyguards, I don't know how many there were, like 5 bodyguards or whatever, four or five bodyguards. Well, they have disappeared. They are presumed to be dead. Um, the thing that you need to know is that the reports out there is that um, there were individuals there at that meeting that were dressed in American military uniforms. Are they American military? Um, that is what's being reported. I'm reporting that these were individuals that were dressed to look like they were in the American military. So they might be, it might be a scam. I don't know, but they were in our uniforms. Um, so when El Mayo went to meet with Quinn, which is the federal representative there for Sinaloa state in Mexico, he did not show up. But the next day, he was executed. So the new representative, federal representative of Sinaloa, Mexico, was executed. 5 shots. 5 shots. They shot him 5 times. Um, so whatever is happening with this kidnapping and the arrest without an arrest warrant. Um, the attorney for El Mayo is saying there's been violation of international law, which there has been clearly, and that that means that he's going to walk. So they just botched this whole thing, and people got killed, and um, so that's the news that we're getting. The news that he needed medical care or whatever, that is being proven to be false since he is a billionaire and he can just get any, set up a hospital in his house. And, we did that for my dad. We uh, changed our whole house, big half of our house and everything. Our master bedroom and that we changed into like a hospital for my dad. And so, and we're not billionaires, we're very much on a budget. And so, but we made that happen. So, just think what a billionaire could do, right? Just think what a billionaire could do. They could absolutely get the medical care that they needed to. So, that is the news. Of course, um, the health and safety officer, that all of that um, is a scam when it comes to Jules Tuganon Chan. That's what his duty is. Um, yeah, just pay attention to the new evidence coming out on that one. But we have been a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. A lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. So just stay healthy and safe yourself, right? Um, don't count on those right now that are supposed to keep us healthy and safe. Thank you Danielle for coming on. Thank you Anicia. Thank you for your prayers and your hearts. It's been really today major things happening behind the scenes with support, because we're trying to get the word out there. That's going to help us with the lawsuit, right? With a wrongful death, because we have all the evidence. We have it all, right? It's getting the people's support. That's why they like to silence people. That's why they like to shadow ban, because once you get that support, then you can get justice. That's how it works. And that's why so much money is spent on media, so much money is spent on keyboard warriors, to influence the internet and any kind of alternative media. All of that is to move the direction of the people in the way that they want them so that they can control policy. And also, of course, cover up for their crimes. Um, we're understanding that, and so we're working very hard to get the word out. Get the word out and tell the story of Richard and get that support so that we can get his remains back and get accountability and then live again, right? This has been so hellish. Um, and then, because, when you get justice, it puts a skip in your walk. Absolutely. So, for Richard's sake, we need to get justice. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. I'm burning the midnight oil. It's been a very just amazing day. Got to speak to a lot of people today. And just please pray for us. And I know there's a lot of questions coming in about Jonathan Ambrose and the LLCs, and of course Nadal Baim and the LLCs, and James Courtney Hart and the LLCs, and Lalani Hart and the LLCs, and there's others, of course. Um, and there's a lot of documents, and we're going through all of that and open records and all of that. Um, some of the open records they are putting us off. They're violating the law. They don't want us to have the open records, but we're finding a way to get them anyway. Um, those are open records, right? Those are open records. They should be available to everybody. So they're pretty damning, and they show the obstruction of justice not only in the Walmart case, but in the cases with Richard when he was whistleblowing about the criminal trafficking. And then, of course, about Richard and the cover up. So, um, our family is demanding, our family and friends are demanding accountability for who murdered Richard, and also uh, requesting that we get Richard's remains. So thank you so much for that. All right, everyone. Thank you, and I'll come back and I'll let you know more about um, Jonathan Ambrose because it's so big. He's connected in so many ways. So thank you so much. God bless you, and I will be back tomorrow.